Chapter 20. We're almost done with Sefer Yehoshua. Look at that. So they conquered Eretz Canaan, and they started giving out the divisions of the land according to the tribes. Now Yehoshua has to finish the mitzvah that Moshe Rabbeinu started, and that is setting up the cities of Ir Miklat, which is the cities of refuge. Now, who goes to the city of refuge? Somebody who kills b'shogeg, kills by accident. He was, let's say, lifting the piano to his top floor of his house, and by accident the rope fell and smashed the guy. You remember those cartoons with the piano falling on the guy? So that's what happened. He killed somebody by accident. He has now to go, once they determine that he really did it by accident, he has to go to the city of refuge. Who lives in the city of refuge is Shevet Levi. All the Levium, they live in the city of refuge, the Ir Miklat, and basically he lives there till the Kohen Gadol dies. So that's Mishnah Yod Makot. It's Pesukim in the Torah, and Mishnah says in Masechet Makot actually that they used to give gifts to these people, so they shouldn't pray that the Kohen Gadol dies. The mothers of the Kohen Gadols, they used to say, "Please don't pray for my son to die." Now, what does the guy who kills by accident have anything to do with the Kohen Gadol? So we have to realize the Kohen Gadol is the one who goes in the temple, in the Kodesh Kodashim, on Yom Kippur, and he prays. So now, he really represents and is responsible for the spirituality of the Jewish people. So if the Jewish people are doing killing by accident, which we're going to see is a level of a sin actually, so he should have prayed that they shouldn't have such a tragedy happen amongst them. Similar to how the Kohanim and the Chachamim, they go in the valley and they chop off the head of the Eglah Arufa and they say our hands are not spilled his blood because they're somewhat responsible because they're the leaders. So the Kohen Gadol, he's responsible spiritually for the people who kill by accident. So they stay there till he dies. Once he dies, they go free. Now, interestingly, if the Midrash says there's no such thing as accidents, how could it be someone killed by accident? There's no, everything is divine providence. Everything's set up from Hashem in advance. So, what does that mean? So really, the Midrash says that God found the guy who got away with murder. And Hashem says, since there's no witnesses, so he can't go to court. So how am I going to get rid of this guy? So I have another guy kill him by accident. Then he'll get what he deserves. And why does the guy who kills by accident has to now suffer, go to exile, leave his whole life? You just pick up and move to who knows when the Kohen Gadol is going to die. You have to leave your whole life behind and start a new life. So the Midrash says is because that guy who killed by accident, he did sins that required him to get the punishment of Galut. So therefore Hashem puts two birds, one stone. This guy needs Galut, so he gives him to kill someone by accident. This guy got away with murder before, so Hashem makes it that he gets killed by accident. That way everybody gets what they deserve. And that's what we say by Sukkot, that if God forbid the new year started and we deserve bad decrees, we go into Sukkah and there'll be Galut for us as a kapara. That way we already get the kapara over with in the beginning of the year. But that's the same idea. He goes to the Ir Miklat and that's a kapara for him. Now, we understand why the Kohen Gadol should have prayed that this guy shouldn't do a sin that requires him to get exiled to kill somebody by accident. So he could have, it was preventable, and therefore it's also the fault of the Kohen Gadol. So basically this guy is a little bit of a sinner. That's why Hashem made this happen to him. So therefore, what does the Torah say? How do you rehab this guy? What do you do with him? You send him to live with the Levium. So basically, you send him Bnei Brak. He lives in Bnei Brak. He's with the cold guys. And he does the shuv over there, and that's his new life until he goes back after the Kohen Gadol dies. Yes.
What about his family?
So they go with him. Yeah, the Gemara says even if your his rabbi goes with him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The rabbi has to go. Yeah. Because he needs to live there, and living there you can't live without Torah. His rabbi is the only person that he's able. What? Right, but not every person can learn from every person. Specifically, if I only can learn from my rabbi. There was no, rabbi, just send me the recording. There was no such thing back then. So you had to be there. You should know the recordings a little bit of ruin the attendance. People just say, send me the recording. It's very upsetting, ruins the attendance. Whatever it may be, nonetheless, we see that Yehoshua's job was now to set up these cities of refuge. And interestingly, there was 3 on mainland Israel and 3 on the other side of the Jordan River. Well, that doesn't make any sense because there's only a few tribes on the other side of the Jordan River. So why do they deserve 3 corresponding to the 3 of the mainland Israel? Mainland Israel is huge, and the other side of the Jordan River there's a few amount of tribes, and they need 3 for themselves. Yes, the Gemara says that in the city of the land of Gilad, murderers were more common, which means to say that people, since they're a border city, so they have to be always in fights and they're ready for war. They have more weapons, and their nature was to be more aggressive. So therefore, they had more phenomenon of killing by accident. Haz Shalom, and really the Torah requires you to go to Ir Miklat, go to city refuge, because if you don't, the Torah gives permission to the Gol Adam, the relative of the guy who died, who got killed by accident. He has permission to kill the guy who killed by accident. So he can go and get retribution, and they're looking. There's like bounty hunters looking for this guy now. They killed by accident, so the Torah says better to go to Ir Miklat because that way you don't get killed by the Gol Adam. There's a machloket if it's a mitzvah. The Mishnah Makot says some say it's a mitzvah the Gol Adam to kill the guy who killed by accident, and some say it's permissible. Doesn't mean it's a mitzvah, and even the Torah gives permission to random people to kill him because of what he did. So therefore, you see that it's very, very critical that he goes to the city refuge and does his kapara over there. But this is a critical part of Yehoshua's conquering the land. And now we will talk about them. We'll talk in the next chapter. We'll talk about the Leviim and how they did not get a portion of the land of Israel. Baruch Adonai Olam.